This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
To get a transcript of today's show, plus all future transcripts emailed to you, go to offthechainshow.com.
Prepare yourself for the uncensored, nothing held back, no BS reality of how business and life really work. Doberman Dan is off the chain.
Hey, Joe Nathan.
What's up?
Question for you. Question. How cultured is your meat?
Depends on what part of the day it is. If I've gone for a run, it's different.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you said that. I don't know where your mind is, man. You need to get your mind out of the gutter. What I'm referring to is, by the way, so I saw a picture of you recently on Flakebook.
Okay.
Holding up your new little addition to the whole fam damly. And you, my friend, are quite a bit leaner than when I saw you last.
Oh, well, thanks for noticing. And a couple things. First, it speaks volumes about you that you were willing to go on Facebook to see those pictures. So that means a lot to me, because I feel like you're a true friend, because I know how much it hurts you to go on Facebook. First of all,
it was painful. I could only last 30 seconds. Once I found the picture, I was compelled to leave that evil time suck as fast as possible.
Yeah, so that speaks volumes for you, and I do appreciate that you made that sacrifice to see a picture of Dong. But aside from that,
here we go with the meat references
yeah, that's
again.
Right. I'm keeping it real here. But you know what? We've spoken about it before, but I've been on a reading binge this year, and one of the books I read was The Fast Diet, because my father-in-law always speaks to how fasting is good for you, makes you live longer, makes you have less disease. So I went on the fast diet and I did some modifications to it as I read it, but I actually lost 10 pounds and I got my BMI down a little bit, and I got my body fat down by about 3% in just like 30 days.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
So obviously that's another testimony to how important diet is. I mean, for your physical well-being, but for your mental health too. I mean, look at what people eat these days, man. The people who are not in the know about this stuff. I mean, that ain't food. That's a combination of something that used to be food. Now it looks like food, and I realize it looks like it, and it used to be food. Now it's genetically modified herbicide, fungicide, glyphosate, slathered carcinogen concoction of chemicals that we've been told is food. I mean, it's no wonder people are sick, man. And it's no wonder stuff like heart disease, cancer, and now Alzheimer's are epidemic proportions. People ain't eating food, man. And I mean, it was getting bad enough with genetically modified corn and wheat and all that other stuff. Now, check out what I found just the other day in Vitamin Retailer magazine, which, go to your local bookstore, go to your local newsstand and pick up a copy of Vitamin Retailer. Now, you won't find it there. It's a little niche insider publication. By the way, the reason I found this article was because it's right above this ad in Vitamin Retailer magazine that says, free book reveals insider secrets of how to double the profits of any supplement business in the next 6 to 12 months.
Dan, was that a free book or free plus shipping? I want to make sure I get the funnel right.
Well, this was before my epiphany in switching to the JSTDT model, the just sell a damn thing model. So this is back from March 2016, Vitamin Retailer. It was a free book, but it was not as an egregious sin as giving away free shit on the internet. This was a free hard copy book. But still, that mistake, I will never make that mistake again. So yeah, this was my ad, Jonathan. But right above it is this article says, introducing cultured meat. Now, this is California-based Memphis Meats is growing meat outside a live animal.
What?
Yeah, Memphis Meats. Yeah, this is incredible. Memphis Meats is growing real meat in small quantities using cells from cows, pigs, and chickens.
Oh, that sounds so awful.
Here's their CEO, Uma Valetti, who says, "This is absolutely the future of meat. We plan to do to the meat industry what the car did to the horse and buggy." Here she goes. No, oh yeah, this was her quote. "Cultured meat will completely replace the status quo and make raising animals to eat them simply unthinkable." So great. Now we can raise cows, pigs, and chickens just for pet reasons, I guess. But listen, I gotta tell you, it's not like I've gone deep on this subject and done the research to find out what the hell is cultured meat and is it as bad as it sounds? Because I'm sure before they started genetically modifying corn and wheat, people were like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. Until you see the disaster, the epic health disaster coming from that shit. By the way, Joni Mitchell. Are you a Joni Mitchell fan, by the way?
Not so much.
She was before your time.
Yeah.
She was before my time, actually, but I followed her because some of my most favorite jazz musicians play with her. She made interesting transition from folk musician to, well, just a creative musical genius that nobody could really understand. The jazz guys came the closest to understanding her vision, so she recruited them. But so I can't remember the name of the disease she has. Poor thing. She's been suffering with this for a while and it's debilitating. And one of the symptoms is it can literally drive you insane because you feel like there's something crawling under your skin. And the reason you feel that is because there is something crawling under your skin. When they open you up and they look under your skin, they find these really tough fibers, like as tough as Kevlar, man, that it just damn near can't cut through it. And it's growing under the skin and nobody can figure out why. Well, you know what? They've done some tests in Europe, man. And maybe this is why in most European countries, they've outlawed genetically modified foods because they're attributing that stuff crawling under your skin that's tough as Kevlar disease to the ingestion of genetically modified foods. So, but aside from that fact, let's say GMOs, genetically modified organisms, aren't responsible for that. Still, they've proven conclusively that when fed, there's been no long-term human studies on how GMOs affect the humans. There's, let's just put it out there, see what happens. But there have been long-term studies on animals. And here's the result. You feed animals GMOs, they have an exponentially higher likelihood of getting carcinogenic tumors. So you probably don't want to be putting that shit in your body, right? But
no kidding.
I mean, that sounds bad enough. But now cultured meat, come on, man. Anyway, there's no point. You're expecting a point to this? There is no point. The point is, I have been paying a lot more attention to my diet here lately because, my diet's been pretty good. But the past 2 months, it's been exceptional because a couple months ago, I decided to get into the best shape of my life. I emphasize, not the best shape for a 51-year-old dude. No, the best shape of my life, even better when I was a lean teenager. And diet is at least 80% responsible for accomplishing that goal. So I've been paying a lot more attention to diet. That's what got me off on this cultured meat thing. I mean, you'd be amazed at the stuff that most people are putting in their bodies that ain't food. But when you've got a goal and a vision, to get in shape and treat your body like it needs to be treated for maximum performance, then you start paying attention to all that stuff. So why? That's an aside, by the way. All the rant about the sheep will being force-fed chemicals. That was just a side rant. The real fact of the matter and the real rant of this particular episode is, why am I getting back in shape? Ask me why I'm getting back in shape, Joe Nathan.
Why are you getting back into shape, Dan?
Well, so I'd be lying if I say vanity didn't play a part in that. But the real reason why I'm militantly disciplined about it right now, I mean, in 2 months, nary a grain has passed these big, beautiful lips. And the reason why I'm so hardcore committed is because everything matters. Everything matters. Half-assing it in one area of your life, or however you want to put it. I like saying half-assing it. Some others might prefer lack of discipline in one area of your life affects them all. Now, most people do half-ass everything in their life for their entire lives. And I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you I have half-assed it in certain areas of my life for years at a time. But when you've got a goal that you're singularly focused on, that you are just, it's like, I'm going to do this or die trying. Those kind of goals, half-assing it in one area of your life, I don't care how inert you think it is, or how harmless or how unimportant you think it is, affects them all. So, I've never made my affection and love for my brothers at Agora Financial. I've never kept that a secret. Respect to those dudes and admiration and gratitude that they have given me the opportunity to work with them. And I've worked with them on various things, but a majority of my time, attention, and big, beautiful brain has been focused on the health division of their business. But I recently decided to enter what are indubitably the Olympics of copywriting, which good timing since we're like watching the Summer Olympics right now. Definitely the Olympics of copywriting, and that's financial copywriting. Believe me, at that level for an Agora, it's like, for a copywriter, it's the hardest thing you can do. Hardly anybody can even qualify to compete in that arena. And me, the glutton for punishment, the masochist, decides that, I haven't done that in 21 years. Now it's time for me to jump into it. When most guys, like with my experience and my age, are doing everything they can to get out of it or have already gotten out of it. Because it's like being the fastest gunslinger in the West. Every young gun in the world is lined up behind you, wanting to outdraw you. And so the smart guys of my experience level and age are getting out of it or have gotten out of it. And I'm decided getting into it. And I realized, you know what? I could half-ass this, and knowing what I know and with my experience, I could probably do all right. But the goal is not to do all right. The goal is to do spectacularly kick-ass awesome, like Grand Slam home run Hank Aaron Grand Slam awesome. And I realized, I should either not do this, or if I really want to do this, I have to examine every single aspect of my life and be real with myself and see where I'm half-assing it and decide to become excellent, because everything matters. In my demented noggin, my physical shape is supremely important to my mental performance. And how I feel about myself, if I'm not in really good physical shape, I don't feel good about myself, because I know I could and should be in good physical shape. And when I don't feel good about myself, how can I be at my maximum mental performance, which, it's the Olympics of copywriting, man. You got to be at the top of your game. So 2 months ago, I decided I'm getting in the best shape of my life. I will be leaner than I have ever been in my life, even when I was, that fast metabolism teenager guy with the 28-inch waist.
Whoa.
And once I committed, first of all, once I committed, it's amazing what comes out of the woodwork to oppose you. It's insane. Like I was working out before without a purpose and a goal, of course, which means, just going through the motions. And I ate okay. But, when I made the commitment, amazing the things that came out of the woodwork to prevent me from doing it. The number one thing, which in the past would have prevented me from doing it, is the chronic pain issues I have. They immediately got 3 times worse. And it's just like everything came against me. And amazing, the desire to eat that crap, that chemical-laden crap that your brain reacts to like heroin. All of a sudden, like, it wasn't a real big deal before. As soon as I made the decision to get back in shape, it was almost like jonesing for heroin. Like, I gotta have a pizza and a beer.
Give me a hit.
Yeah, give me a hit, man. But once you make that decision to commit, now all of a sudden, you're eating for a reason. And pleasure ain't it, man. You're eating to support a goal. So the fact that I have not touched a grain, I take it back. In 2 months, I've eaten a grain once. I felt like I deserved a cheat day, and I ate pizza. And my body at that point was so attuned to how I was eating that as soon as I ingested those genetically modified wheat grains, my body reacted violently against that.
Whoa.
And listen, I know this sounds like a stupid thing to be talking about what you eat and getting into physical shape on a program that's intended for entrepreneurs. But there's a reason for that, my brothers and sisters. And for those who've got the balls to be honest with themselves, they will realize everything matters. You've been drinking a bit too much? You don't think that matters? That's another thing, Joe Nathan. It's not as if I drank a lot, but I had recently, past couple years, started drinking regularly. Now, regularly for me would be a glass or 2 of wine, just being transparent here, 3 times a week. For some people, that's perfectly fine. When being honest with myself and the entire Griffin side of the family being stone cold alcoholics, I had to re-examine that and how that affects me mentally, how that affects my performance, how that affects my physical condition. You know what? That had to go. And I didn't think that was an issue. Like, it's innocent. It's not like I'm getting drunk every night. No, but you know what? I'm getting buzzed a lot of nights of the week. And as soon as I made the decision to stop that and get in shape, all of a sudden that pull became way worse too. Not only am I jonesing for grains, man, and sugar and chocolate, jonesing for that liquor too. Yeah. But, probably not. Thank God I can't relate to what alcoholics go through, and anybody who has to deal with that, you have my, God bless you, man. I can't imagine how difficult that may be, but everything matters. And even in my head, okay, if I know I'm half-assing it in one area, it's going to affect everything because it messes with my head. So that's my message for today, that based on my experience, everything matters. And there might come a point in your life where you want to take a look at and evaluate all those areas of your life where you've been half-assing it because you think it doesn't affect your fill in the blanks, your family life, your spiritual life, your business life, your ability to make good decisions, your ability to make money, your ability to be a good father or mother, or your ability to be a good example as a father or a mother. This is getting a little preachy, isn't it? But I'm not. I ain't preaching, brothers and sisters. I am preaching. I want you to look deep down into your soul. And all I'm saying is just, you might want to examine it. And if you've recently set a goal that you are truly, sincerely, honestly ready to commit to with all your heart and soul, maybe it's time to see, well, if I'm really going to do this and commit to this, maybe I better look at the other areas of this or that where I've been half-assing it. Because I'm going to tell you, this has been difficult, Joe Nathan. I've not called you by your real name once in this episode, have I?
That is my name, isn't it?
It is now. And we're not breaking the streak now. I'm not saying you're really. So it's not been easy, Joe Nathan, and my beloved and treasured listener, but it has been worth it. Amazing things have happened in 2 months' time because of it. In fact, you know what? I may be showing off my 6-pack here really soon. It's an old
Miller Lite
51-year-old geezer. And I'm not at 6 yet. I'm at a 4-pack, but daggone it. When I get to the 6-pack, my ego is just going to, I'm going to want to show this. I'm like, all right, all you young guys, I'm in better shape than all you. Look at this 6-pack. And then boom, just pop that bad boy out there. Just boom, you know.
Go to one of Dan's speaking events and he's taking his shirt off. What up?
And, you know, and pound on the belly. Like, who was a dude from Saturday Night Live? The comedian used to do that. And he used to be like, yeah. This is a ghetto mating call.
Oh, I don't remember that one. I'm thinking of Hans and Franz right about now. I'm going to pump you up.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Good stuff, Dan.
This has been an interesting connection with the title of this episode, right? How cultured is your meat?
Yeah, it went all over the place. But I will tell you that I'd like to explore that more, the mind-body connection, because I know you're a bodybuilder for a while and stuff like that. And I really believe that we haven't talked about this enough, because there is a connection between all those different points, and people don't really pay enough attention to that and don't find that harmony in their lives. So I'm glad that you brought that up today.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about it more. I mean, I may be a little bit extreme in those beliefs because, you know, bodybuilders are just not sane. I mean, they do the most insane stuff for pure appearance reasons. But, you know, if you're not exercising, man, you're missing out on some huge benefits that are going to help your business and help you make more money. And it doesn't have to be extreme like I'm doing. Just taking a walk every night. Once you get in the habit of doing exercise, which it's probably going to take you 21 to 30 days to establish the habit, you're going to be happy you did it, because it's going to pay off in all kinds of ways. Mostly, the first one I always feel is just mental, just having more mental clarity, more energy, and just feeling better about yourself, knowing that you're doing something to improve your health.
Yeah, man. All right, so that is a wrap for another Off the Chain show. We went a little long this time, but all for a good reason. Joe Nathan out. Doberman Dan out. I wanted to jump in on that too. And we'll be back with you, K9 Crew, on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, to get a transcript of today's show emailed to you, go to offthechainshow.com.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.